Hello everybody, this is Diane. I am working on these two beautiful journals today. This one is Parisian Cafe, that's the name of the digital kit that I'm using, and this one is My Fair Lady. So I think this one is pretty much done as far as the signatures being finished, filled, embellished, all of it. I don't know, there might be some more that I add, but I think they're pretty much done. And I've gotten a good part of this one done. I always just start out with the covers on them so you remember which journals I'm working on. So I'm going to continue working on this one. I have some things here I want to add to the journal, and I also want to do some stamping. So let's do the stamping first and get that out of the way. I want to stamp something up here. Got all my stamps out because I've already used them in the other book, and I'm using Crumb Cake from Stampin' Up! To just give it a lighter shade. It's not going to be super dark on the stamping. This is from one of the Tim Holtz sets. It says merchant, tailor, and dealer in ready-made clothing, hats, caps, and gents furnishing goods of all kinds. I think this is from Gentlemen and Ladies or something like that. And this is a Prima stamp. It says number. And we'll stamp on the coffee dyed paper. Got some beautiful roses from some of the Tim Holtz sets. Some of the flowers came from the Ladies and Gentlemen set, and some came from a set called Victorian. Got a little fussy cut glued on there. Just another little advertising label. I think we're gearing up for a thunderstorm today. I haven't checked the weather, my weather app today, but yesterday it said around noon we would have a thunderstorm, and it's noon now. And it's been windy, but maybe sprinkling a little bit, but I haven't seen any like real rain, and definitely no thunder. So I don't know if we're still on point for having a thunderstorm. I hope so. I love thunderstorms. This one is from the Ladies and Gentlemen. There's a lady's bust ahead in the Victorian set, but it's a little bit large. These pages are small. I didn't want to overwhelm the space. Here's a Graphic 45 stamp from, I think it's a Couture collection. See if this will stamp properly, because that might hinder it. Yep, not bad. Some more flowers here. Got some music. Gotta make sure I put it on right side up. And this pretty corner for the inside. This is the center page. Well, no, it's not. I had a coffee dyed paper in the center of the other journal. This journal has an extra digital page in each signature, so I put that in the center. All right, I'm not going to stamp all of the signatures right this minute, but you can see what sorts of stamps I'm using. I have these little sacks I want to put on. Just going to refresh my memory on where I want to put them. On the music page. So I have these, they were already made. I cut them with my die. You cut like this, and you just fold them. This die is no longer available. I think it's from Jelly Bean Soup. It was the scrapbooking company, but it might be a Sizzix die if you wanted to look on eBay for it. And it's just called Scallop Pocket or something like that. I lucked out and found mine at Hobby Lobby a few years ago, and then after that I never saw them again. But I use it quite a bit. Got some glue clogging my glue tip. And then, just keeping it simple, I'm just going to put this little element from the digital kit. By the way, that if you haven't watched previous videos about these journals, the digital kits that I named are from Creative Boutique, but they don't have these kits available anymore. I bought them in 2019, and I hadn't used them yet. And they don't have them, and I looked in the large bundles that they have, and they're not in the bundles either, so they're just not available anymore. I'm hoping that we do get a thunderstorm. It's feeling kind of stuffy and muggy. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm feeling very muggy. And even though I can hear the wind outside sometimes, it's not blowing in the direction that it will come through my window at all. I feel no air. I could put my fan on, I suppose, but I don't like to have my fan on in here because it blows my papers. Okay, so this is going to go on this side of the page. Gotta cap this so I don't get more clogs. And I'm going to glue it as a tuck spot so I can put something behind it. These tags that I'm putting in the bags are from Christie Art Design. And I printed these cards. This kit didn't have larger journal cards like these. So I printed these from, I think these are from TaylorMade Journals. So I've had this for a while and I've never printed them. They are individual images. I don't know what the name of the kit is. They're individual images, so I could have printed it full page or half a page, but I printed it 4 to a page, so I would get the size of journal cards that I wanted. And that will just tuck in there. 1912 is about the era of the book covers. They're like 1908, 1909, something like that. Okay, now, there are differences in the two books because they had different elements. This one has some tiny, tiny, tiny little library pockets, so I'm going to put them in. The other book does not have these, but the other book has some things that this book doesn't have. I don't think I had a card to fit in there, so I'm going to have to make one. I had a card for 2 of them. So I'll do this one. Have a little circle there I can glue onto the front to decorate it. I think these pockets would have been bigger, all of these elements would have been bigger if I was in Europe with their A5 or whatever, if I could have printed it the way they were intended. But because I had to print it to fit my paper, things got weird. So, as I said before, I probably won't use these kits again, just because I had trouble sizing them. Now I need a page to put this on. Let's see what we've got for pockets. I'm going to put a pocket on the back cover, so, of the signature. I don't have any pockets in the front. There's one. It's a double pocket, but it's one pocket. So I think I'll put this in the front part of the signature. I'll put it right there. And yeah, I guess I'll put it on as a tuck. I can put something little behind it. In one of the videos I talked about the fact that I started printing it, just printing it the way it was, before I realized that that the proportions weren't right. Oh, I gotta do the back. And I was chopping off the pretty borders. Well, when I fit the paper to fit the image to fit my paper, I got all the borders. It made it wider, made it wide and narrow, the pages. But when I had to cut it to fit into the book, I cut off that border anyway. But the rest of the image, it's all proportional now. So I just took those borders that I cut off and glued them on the inside part so I wouldn't lose them. I think maybe some glue leaked in there. There we go. And I have some other small digitals that I printed. Christie Art Design. These might be Christie Art Design also. These are the old design shop. Okay, so I've got library pockets to go in the other signatures. And I have the two little sack pockets to go in the other signatures. Now let's do the back of the signature. So I'm just going to take a cut off scrap from the other book. I use these cardstock pieces in the other book, but I have these scrap pieces. I'm going to make a pocket and simply add a postcard from the old design shop, and that's going to be my pocket. I could make it a double pocket because these are cardstock. Why don't I do that? Just to give you an extra little pocket. I wonder if I can put one of these in this pocket, or if it's too wide. I think that would fit. Okay. Is there anything else I need to do? Well, I have this one little page here, and I wanted to make a little booklet with it and tuck that in one of these back pockets. So I thought we would make the booklet together. A lot of times when I make a little booklet, I sew it on my sewing machine, but for these I wanted to just sew it by hand, so that's why I wanted to do it on camera so you could see. Let me show you the ones I did for the other journal. These are larger, and there's a reason why I wanted to do it. First of all, they had the images, the larger images to use. And then these kind of pockets, when I just put this card in there, it just slipped around and fell and everything. So I thought I'll make a booklet, make it thicker, and then because of the way I made the booklet, it also is wider, because I just took some of my pieces that were printed and didn't get used. I made the booklet cover out of that and then glued the image to it so it's wider. And so that fits in there nicely and it doesn't slide around anymore. So I decided I don't have the large images to do that with this kit, but I have this little one. So I thought I'd make at least one little booklet. Oh, I have this out because I want to ink it before I sew it together. It only takes a few seconds to hand sew a little book like this. So I'm going to use the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I normally do 5-hole pamphlet stitch when I'm sewing my signatures into the journals, but for little booklets I can use the 3-hole. So I just cut some dot grid paper, 3 sheets of it, and so they're folded. You get 12 pages to write on in this little booklet. I have my little kit that I sew my books together with. So I have, and someone wanted me to demonstrate how I wax my thread. Now, I did not wax my thread for the booklet in the other journal because I didn't think it was necessary for the little booklet, but I'm going to do it here just because someone wanted to know how to wax thread. I think this is all I need. I don't even need to poke holes with the awl. I can just poke right through with the needle because it's so thin. This is a big needle, bigger than I need for this little booklet, but it's what I have in there for sewing my books together. So I just take a nice long piece because I want to tie a bow on the outside. For this one, I'm going to sew it so that the knot is on the outside of the book. At least having a big needle makes it easier to thread. Also makes it easier for the thread to come out, so you have to be careful. Oh, I didn't wax it. So this is what I have. It's beeswax. I got it from Amazon. It's beeswax. You can see it was nice and round, but I've been using it, so the thread cuts through that. And there are slots in there to run the thread through. But if you don't have that, you can just pick up beeswax in a sewing section in a craft store or on Amazon and just pull. I'm pulling so that the thread is kind of cutting into the beeswax, and that means the thread will be coated with the wax, and you can do it 2 or 3 times. So I did it once there. I'm going to do it once here. Put the thread through one of the slots and just pull. And so I can feel that I've got wax on that. That's all. That's all you do. I threaded it so easily the first time. There we go. So I don't measure it or anything for this. When I do my signatures into the book, I do. But I don't really care. I'm not trying to match up holes from one section to, like, from the signature to the cover. So I'm just going to, I'm starting from the back so that way the thread's going to end up on the outside. Just kind of eyeball the center and poke my needle through. You can paper clip your pages together if you have a hard time holding them together. Leave a nice long tail and go up, not all the way to the edge. I'm just putting mine there. Now I'm gonna make sure you're not pulling this so hard that you pull this shorter or even all the way out. It's very easy to pull it out or make it shorter than you want. So I'm going to skip this. I'm going to skip right down to the bottom part of the book. And pull that up. And now I'm going to come up again to the center in the same hole that you used before. So my thread is on this side. I want to come up on this side. I want to, but my needle doesn't want to. And if you have trouble with that, you can come up on the same side and then just slip your needle under the thread and you'll end up on the opposite side. No big deal. Now just make sure the thread is taut. Take the needle out and tie. You can tie it in a knot or a bow. I do both. I tie it in a knot so that if the bow comes untied, which it would be easy to do, the integrity of the knot is going to be there. And now I'll just tie a little bow. And cut the ends of my thread. So this is going to go in here. That's what I was looking for. Yep, that goes in there. Okay, so now I believe this book has all its elements, except I have these extra pieces. So I can just glue them somewhere. I can put a circle in each signature. And I have 2 of these and 1 of those to add to the signatures if I want to. One of these books already has, or one of these signatures already has one of those on a coffee dyed page. We saw that when I was going through its stamping. If this is the, yeah, it's this signature because this is the only one I stamped. So that's where we saw this. So this will go in a different signature. So what do I want to put on that page? Let me see what I have here. Oh, I didn't put anything because I can write, you can write on that, but you can't really write on that. I might have to think of something else to put on this page. You know what? I need to use some of these extra pages that are printed. So I could cut one of these out and just glue it on there for journaling. Unfortunately, it's printed on both sides, so I'm wasting the ink that I used on the back, but what are you going to do? It just seemed to get so complicated trying to print these pages because of the size. I started printing them back in 2019 when I first bought the kit. So I had some stuff printed and some stuff not printed, and some were printed the wrong size. Got to be a hassle. But it's turning out beautifully once I got the pages printed. I do want more of that background to show. There's a lot of ink used here too. Don't want to hide it all. Just give you a little spot for journaling there. It's just such a striking kit, I think. I could put this up here for a little label. And I could put another card, journaling card in here. Well, these are the easy ones, just adding the back pocket. So I'll do the other ones. We'll be out of time before long. So this is this way to have the writing right side up. So I'm going to ink that part. Oh, I didn't make it a pocket. I forgot, this is a pocket here. But this one is not. I wonder if one of these would fit in there. Yeah, I think we already tried that. So those are already set aside for the other signatures. So I'll just cut one out. My grandmother was born in 1912, 1 month before the Titanic sank. She shared a birthday with my husband too. And they liked each other, those two. My grandmother had a very kind of sense of humor did she have. She didn't crack up or anything, but she was very intelligent and witty. She had a witty sense of humor. And just the way she phrased things, just in normal conversation, was funny sometimes. And my husband also enjoyed being humorous, so those two got along great. So I picture them laughing together in heaven right now. Maybe I'll put some other kind of label there because I don't really like this red against that burgundy. I could just put something like that on it. Okay, we're going to make this one a pocket. Again, I don't want the red on that burgundy background. Maybe the butterfly is all I need. I think we'll just go with that. I'll ink that later. We're coming along. I have more stamping to do. I have a couple more pockets to add to the other two signatures. I've got a few minutes, if you don't mind. I have a bit of a migraine today, so I'm going to need to stop and have some lunch, maybe close my eyes for a bit, take some more Tylenol. Or maybe if the storm breaks, maybe that would help my headache. And look at the weather app. Now it says 100% chance of rain at 1 o'clock, and it's 1:45 right now. But it doesn't say thunderstorm anymore. Let's see, was it the music page we had this on? This pocket? I think so. Yes. And this will go behind it when it's dry. And where are we putting the library pocket? I think we did that in the front section, right on the front page. This one is even smaller than the other one. So I don't think I'll make this one a little tuck spot. I'll just glue it down. Okay, well, I still have a little more work to do in this signature, or in this journal, and I have to put the covers together for both of them and get them put together, but we're coming along very nicely. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next video. Have a creative day today. Bye-bye.